This is what I wore to teach my elementary art class, and I just love this little dress sandwich situation. So it's a dress, a shirt, and then another dress over top. Here's a moment for the accessories, and my shoes are from Jeffrey Campbell. Follow for more fits.
There's a problem going on, and it's not a how I feel problem. It's a what I know problem. This is actually a problem. And the problem is when we look at women who are educators right now, a lot of female educators, and it's two things: what they wear and how they conduct themselves. What they wear and how they conduct themselves. Let's just break that down very simply. They are wearing form-fitting clothes. They all are wearing form-fitting clothes. And the other thing is that they are thirst trapping or seeking sexual attention, male attention, on Instagram, TikTok, other forms of social media. Now let's just break down the first point. When it comes to how they dress and wearing form-fitting clothes, I've worked quite a few places, not a tremendous amount, but quite a few places. And every place I've worked, we've had a dress code for the men. We've had a dress code for the women. There are certain things that I didn't like about the dress code for men. One of the things that women didn't like was, that they couldn't wear leggings and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind for around the end of the video. Leggings. We will come back to that. So, I would see chicks getting sent home, and this is like 15 years ago, getting sent home because they were coming in with clothes that were too tight, with leggings on. They used to say something, leggings aren't pants. That used to be a popular saying. Leggings have become pants. But the thing about the jobs that I've had is none of them had anything to do with children or kids. And they were pretty strict when it came to what women could wear and even what men could wear. They would get mad at you if you didn't have a button-up shirt as a man at some of the jobs that I had. You had to have, if your shirt didn't have no buttons, they sending you home, dog. They not discriminating. They sending you home. But the crazy part about this to me is that this is a job where you're in front of children all day. Why are they less strict in these jobs, as far as the education field, than they are at the jobs that I've had or most white collar jobs? There's been a shift in leniency, and we're going to discuss that a little later as well. Now let's go to the other end as far as the other thing that I said. Now we have to talk about the behavior or them sexually seeking attention or seeking sexual attention and stuff like that. So even back then, what women tried to do is they would say stuff like, oh, y'all don't be saying nothing to the skinny girls when they come in this type of stuff. Y'all only trying to police me because I got a voluptuous body. Da-da-da-da-da. Blah, fucking blah, fucking blah. They would try and make excuses to justify the way that they were dressing and the way that they carried themselves. And back then, it was a different conversation because it wasn't about social media. When we get into this level of culture that we're in right now, we know exactly what it is. They know exactly what it is, but they're going to be disingenuous about it. They're not going to be real about knowing what it is. They're still going to try and use the old tricks from the past. Now, when you look at this outfit right here, this is a modern teacher. This is a teacher right now. This is an appropriate outfit. It is a loose dress, and she has something covering up the top. Now, this is that same teacher, but guess where she is? She's at home. Let's just focus on this picture for a few seconds. She is in a mirror, taking a selfie, full body, with her side showing. Why is she showing her side? She is showing her side because she wants to show off that big, fat, stupid ass. She wants to show off that big, fat, juicy dumper. She wants to show her body to the world. That is also why she has that tight shit on. You could say it's comfortable. She like to dress this way. But the thing is, she knows what type of attention that gets her. So it's one thing if she's wearing it in the comfort of her home and just walking around. But when it's time to take a picture and broadcast this type of image to the world, you never see these chicks in the baggy sweatpants for the most part. You know, the big old fucking tremendous hoodie from like their 7-foot boyfriend that they had 7 years ago that they wear when they're trying to be cozy. You don't see a bunch of pictures like that on a chick like this page. You don't see a bunch of pictures like that. And even then on most chicks' pages, you don't see them take bum pictures. You'll go out to Walmart, you'll go out to Sam's Club, you'll go out to Target, you'll go to the mall, you'll go to wherever the grocery store, and you'll see chicks dressed in bum mode. You've seen chicks say stuff like, oh man, I can't believe a dude hollered at me looking like this, da-da-da-da-da. And dudes will be in the comments like, oh, well, he could see the potential. You know, you might not have had the thing showing, but da-da, all that. We're all familiar with that dialogue and that rhetoric, right? Women know that these types of clothes are going to garner male attention. And we could even, let's just keep it real. A lot of these chicks be gay now. Like women, like the modern woman's sexuality is fucking fluid. They be twerking each other in the club. They be smacking each other's butts in the club. This is not even just no black shit at this point. Like white women is doing this. Hispanic women is doing it. Like it's all over the place. So they might even be satisfied at getting some female attention. Some sexual female attention at this point as well. But we know what this is, and she knows what this is. She is showing off her ass for validation, sexual validation. And that is the culture that has become very not just widespread, but normalized, standardized. When we talk about fit women or women with curves, most of them are like this. The key word is most. And also the other key word is women built like this, or just women who are fit to some degree and have some assets. Most of them are like this. You're not going to find a bunch of chicks with big old fat stupid asses and fucking slim waists that's not trying to show off that fucking ass right now. So when we get past that, let's go to some other pictures, being that we establish what this is. It is a thirst trap. It is seeking sexual validation on the internet. And a lot of women will feign ignorance to that, but we know exactly what it is, even if they try to feign ignorance to it. Now, what do we have here? She's back in the classroom with tight ass pants, another one with jeans, showing off that big old stupid fat juicy dumper. Now we got some type of leggings or whatever type of pants you want to call those. And then this is the last one, I think, another pair of leggings, like fucking, what you call those? Capri pants. Capri pants. So she's in the classroom taking those same types of thirst traps. Taking those same types of thirst traps. You're out of your mind if you don't think this type of dressing isn't disruptive to not just the class, but also to the other people in the work environment. You're out of your mind if you don't think that other teachers, other faculty, the janitor, and even the fucking kids aren't distracted by the stuff that she's wearing. And the thing is, she knows what she got back there. She knows that she's dressing to show it off. And she knows, even outside of work, the dressing like that gets attention. And she knows she's going to get attention at the job while she's dressing like that. The question I have is, why is this stuff not regulated? Why does she get to go viral for fucking 2 whole years dressing like this and nobody does anything about it? Everybody is just cool with it. It's just weird to me. Now look at this one right here. twirling around, got that tight ass dress on, butt posing, showing the side, just showing every angle of the butt, making sure, even just stopping at the back sometimes. Watch, she's gonna stop at the back again for this one. Look at that. She wants you to see that motherfucking dumper while she's teaching summer school. She wants you to see that. Now, this is what she wore. She said like cheer gym or something like that. So she's, I'm guessing, like a cheerleader coach or whatever the case may be. But this is the type of stuff that she wears to school. Now, a lot of women will do this deniability thing where they like, oh, this is, she just dressing to dress comfortable. She not trying to get attention. They'll say all these excuses and try and like not just defend, but they will try and make it seem like you're ridiculous and crazy for saying what you're saying. Watch this. Here you have her on Halloween, dressed as a police officer, a sexy police officer. But guess what? She's in fishnets with some of her cheeks out, like some of her cheeks are exposed, doing some of the same poses that she did in the teaching video to show off that slender bubble butt. That slender butt. And if you look at the page, that's mostly the types of pictures and videos that she takes, all back facing. I want you to remember this for when we get into the last part of the video, as far as this screenshot right here, because this is symbolic of what's going on with women in general. This is symbolic of what's going on with women in general. Now, I want to say a couple things before we move on. A lot of really thick women, and especially black women, will try and make it seem like you're just picking on them and, oh, it's just, y'all just saying that because colorism, like, dog, the last two examples that I did, the ones that I highlighted were not even black women. So let's just put that out there. Let's square that away. Like, this is a woman thing widely. But if you go and point it out about a black woman, they'll try and isolate. Oh, you just isolating black. Like, no. Inappropriate is inappropriate. That's all I'm going to touch on for right now. We're going to move to the next portion. So now we're going to slide through some pictures of what teachers look like in previous generations. Now, I want you to notice all of these are older women, but they got on sweaters. They got on fluffy ass, big, top clothes, and they got on big, dresses and stuff like that. Nothing even close to being form-fitting. These are women in the 90s. That's what we're looking at now. Teachers from the 90s. That's like the 80s, I think, when I got that one. This is still like the 80s, even though it's black and white, I'm pretty sure. This right here is just a picture that I got to, it popped up in Google. I can't remember the years, but look at this. 90s most likely. Big pants. You got these women wearing dresses that are nowhere near form-fitting. You see how they just loose? You got this woman right here in a sweater, black woman, not form-fitting. It got room. You see that right there? Miss Gertrude got all that room. Now, this picture right here is the year 2000. You see everybody's got on stuff that is not form-fitting. When we get here, this is August 9th, 2011. This is somewhat where maybe not the shift began, but you could see somewhat of the shift. Look at what the women are wearing. The woman on the left has on a baggy ass shirt. That's great. It's a baggy shirt. She also has on jeans. What are those, though? Those are modern clothes. When you look at all the other women, guess what they have on? They all have on pants, except who? Old ass Miss Gertrude in the polka dots. She's the only one wearing a big dress, not even close to being form-fitting or nothing. That is going to hide everything. Everybody else has on pants. I'm not saying anything is wrong with the pants. I'm just saying that's where the shift begins. When you get past them wearing the pants, guess what they all got on as well? Sandals with their toes out. You didn't see that in any of the old teaching stuff. You didn't see that in any of them old years. So I don't think this is inappropriate necessarily, but this is where the shift begins. You could probably even say, oh, look at the cleavage or whatever. But 2011 is the date on this picture. And this is also another 2010s picture. What do you see going on? Let's keep it real. Let's just keep it real. She has on a tight dress. It looks like if she tried to do the YMCA dance and like just fucking bust it out, spread her legs horizontally to side, like that dress would go up or it would just restrict her. So that's a little tight, but this is what she did to combat the tightness of that dress. What she did was wore a big ass baggy shirt. It's short sleeve, very short sleeve. She also has on, I would guess, some open-toed sandals to some degree. So if you notice, there is a significant shift when we look at those early teaching pics versus these contemporary teaching pics as far as like the 2010s. And just to fill in the blanks, if any of you just don't get the shift that I'm talking about strictly a shift in dress code and what is acceptable in this environment. That's where the lines begin to get blurred. Because if jeans are acceptable, well, what types of jeans? If mini skirts are acceptable, well, what types of mini skirts? What makes a mini skirt acceptable or unacceptable? Are all mini skirts acceptable? That's where the lines begin to get blurry. So as we get into this next segment, I want you to watch this.
Since everybody is always wondering if it's heavy all the time, yes, it's heavy all the time. In the sunlight, daylight, nighttime, man, this thing just, it's just fat, man. Anyways, come spend a random day with me. So we started off thrifting at a store called Once Upon a Child. And moms and dads don't walk but run to this store, okay? And I headed to go get my toes done. I took my Grams too because she deserves to get her toes done too. And that's how I ended off the day. Bye, y'all.
Now, I want to tell you off rip, that woman is not a teacher. It's possible you thought it was a teacher because we're doing a video about teachers, right? And every video that I've shown you has been of a teacher. So it would be it would be easy for you to assume that was a teacher. Some of you probably didn't. But why did I put that in there? Because when we talk about the teachers that I've shown you, in her right there, what the fuck is the difference? There's barely any difference. The other reason I put it in there is because she knew that a video of her shopping and going to get her toes done was not going to do numbers. But guess what was going to get the views for that video? Gripping up that big, fat, stupid dumper. Gripping it up. She knew that was going to get the views. These women, which I've touched on this so I don't have to go too crazy, but these women are aware that what they're doing is going to garner attention. You got to stop. Don't let them get away with this fake oblivious shit that they be trying to kick. But this is the real reason, or the main reason, I showed you that video. This type of behavior, butt selfies, belfies, a lot of this shit has been standardized, normalized. It is so standard and so normal when we talk about most physically attractive women. Now, I've touched on that to some degree, but let's go a little deeper. What is going on is, I don't think, and this is a conversation for another time as far as whether women are changing or whether, this is how they always have been or whatever the case. That's, something to talk about another day. But I could say that this type of behavior, if it were to come out 15 years ago, it would come out in a different way. It would come out in a different outlet, especially even if we get to 20 years ago. There wasn't no selfies. MySpace was barely a thing in 2005. And if you go back even further before that, like in the 90s, yeah, the attention would have to be grabbed a different way. But what's going on now is you have social media. And what the algorithm does, the algorithm, rewards what gets attention. All the algorithms, they all work similar. You upload something, they're going to show that shit to anywhere from 5 to 50 to 100, however many close people that you interact with. They're going to show that shit at least 100 times. If you have low engagement, they're going to stop the cycle of showing it to people. But if you have a high percentage of engagement within that first 100, that first 50, whatever it is, they're going to begin to show it to more and more people. If that engagement stays high, they're going to show it more and more. I say that to say that when it comes to sex, that is the easiest layup when it comes to getting attention online for anybody. You could be a man and use a woman's body to get attention online. And it's going to boost your numbers every single time if you post a chick's butt or if she posts her own butt. Or even if a chick posts another chick's butt. Everybody wants to see that. So it's going to go up. So when you look at that, women love attention. They've always loved attention. The algorithm is feeding them attention at a rate that they have never got attention before. That they've never been capable of getting attention at before. So this has affected a whole generation or a couple generations of women to where this type of behavior is like, it's irresistible. They have to participate in it because their natural inclination to seek attention is always going to be there for most women. But the craving is going to push a lot of them to overindulge in it. It's going to push a lot of them to overindulge in it. There's probably a deeper conversation to be had here because, when you see certain stuff like a stripper pole, a lot of chicks see a stripper pole, regardless what type of chick you think she is, they get electrified. They see a stripper pole on a bus, on a Sprinter van. They see a stripper pole in somebody's home. Most chicks get electrified to some degree. Most chicks have wanted to get on a pole at some point, but they don't want the scrutiny that comes with being a stripper. They want the attention and the validation that comes from being a stripper. But that aside, that's what it is. The algorithm is rewarding them with attention, and they absolutely love attention and they seek attention naturally. So this type of behavior has become standardized because the algorithm rewards it. Let me take it a step further. These platforms have began to monetize creators. You could be doing anything and get monetized. So now a lot of these chicks are getting incentivized just to post thirst traps. We could take it one step further, OnlyFans. Now you can be a digital sex worker. And you've seen how the pandemic, it really unlocked that bubble and you started seeing a lot of your coworkers, a lot of the chicks you went to school with starting OnlyFans. It became a wide phenomenon, like a nationwide phenomenon, to where every chick and that's an exaggeration, an extreme exaggeration, but a lot of chicks were either considering or actually went and got an OnlyFans. There are a lot of things that could have conditioned them to become like this and all of this stuff. But Regardless, that is where we are at right now. And a few things that I've pointed at that have conditioned them to be like this. They already have an inclination to seek attention, but the algorithms on social media and also the money from social media and OnlyFans have pushed them, a mass of them, to be like this. And I just keep it a G, like I haven't kept it throughout most of the video and avoided saying, but we gonna say it this deep in the video. This is hoish behavior. Hoish behavior has been normalized. So when we have all of this going on all throughout society, you're gonna see this with the female politicians. There was a country right next to the Ukraine. I can't remember which one it was, but guess what? While the Ukraine war was bubbling, while the Ukraine-Russian war was bubbling, this chick was caught partying. Like, young chick. She's the president of the country. Like, she's not 40-something. She got caught partying. Very weird. So you're going to see not just the world leaders and stuff like that, but you're going to see, you know, women at the Amazon factory that you work at, women who work at the school board, women who work at the hospitals, women who even work blue collar jobs like fucking welding or whatever. There are women being affected by this in mass. So you're going to see these types of women everywhere, including an abundance of them in the schools. That's just what it is. Now, a few other things I want to touch on. Yes, it is possible that they are going into the work environment with it in their mind that they want to get attention from adult men, and possibly even, because they are freaky now, some adult women. But let's talk about that freakiness very briefly. It is possible that a chunk of them, I can't say a number, but it's possible that a chunk of them are trying to get attention from the students, specifically male students. The reason that's not far-fetched is because a lot of them have been jammed up. A tremendous amount of them have been jammed up for having sex with students. And it's happening at a crazy rate right now as we speak. So a lot of these women are fucking perverted. And if you know how college go, you know a lot of them was getting fucked crazy. So college is just a freaky pipeline. And then they go get in the education system and they can't shake that freak off. This is another thing. A lot of these chicks is fucking young. A lot of these hoes are young. They are not 40. Most of these chicks is anywhere from 22 or 23 all the way to like 35-ish. That's how come you're seeing this, because that is the generation that has been impacted the most. So with this, you got a lot of freaky ass, perverted, predator ass bitches amongst these hypersexual women who just gotta get this attention by any means. Even when they are at fucking school, they just can't turn it off. They just don't have an off switch to their hoeing. And these be the same women who get mad when you say you can't wear that. And you gotta understand, if you understand everything I just said, you know why they get mad. Because they don't know another way to operate. And again, the whole controlling thing, they want to be young, wild, and free and get this attention, even when they got you. It is a drug. They absolutely fucking need it. But let's get to the last issue. The last issue I'm going to talk about is that a lot of y'all, men, some of y'all didn't make it this far, and a lot of y'all don't feel this video. And that's because a lot of men just default operate from a place of horniness. And it's the craziest shit. If you watch that video where I talked about the dude who got SA'd by those two female streamers, one of the things that I said It's just impossible for a lot of the people who criticize a dude to step outside of themselves and put themselves in somebody else's shoes. When it comes to men's horniness, a lot of niggas can't even just step outside of that horniness. Fuck stepping into somebody else's shoes. They can't step out their own horniness. And I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm not pulling no punches. You're a weak motherfucker. If that is you, you're a weak motherfucker. You're weak. You'll see a lot of men when these female teachers have sex with these kids. These guys automatically go in the horny mode and they say, man, where were these teachers at when I was in school? You know, ooh, I would smash her right now. Those kids are stupid for telling. Nobody would have ever found out if I was smashing her when I was 12, 14, 16. Nobody would have ever found out that I was smashing this teacher. Most of these dudes cannot see past their own horniness. So they'll see this type of shit. And not only are they not able to see the problem with this, but they will defend it. They will defend it. And this is the funnier part to me. Yes, men operate through horniness as far as most of them. And if we're going to be honest, that's like male nature. We'll say that's male nature. Most men operate through their horniness. But when it comes down to cucks, the majority of men are not cuckolds. When it's time to smash these chicks, right? Everybody wants to smash these types of chicks. Everybody is ready to go. Everybody wants to smash these beautiful, sexy chicks, right? But when it comes to somebody who carries himself a certain way, carries himself like a hoe, that's when we get all, as far as men in general, she not cuffable. She not wifey material. She just something to fuck on. She not nobody to take serious. This is something that most men know. You could take a guy that's not even getting no box at all, and he know, yeah, I would hit that, but I would be in a world of trouble. As far as some dudes, they know they would be in a world of trouble if they were to take that woman serious. As far as somebody who carries himself like some of the women in here, especially if they're any type of red pill, any type of aware male. 100% they know they're going to be put through the ringer if they're not getting no box. And they fuck, not just fuck with this chick, because they could fuck with her, but actually cuff her and take her serious and take her on as a long-term mate or even a short-term commitment. They know that it's going to be problems. Because another thing about male nature is we value fidelity. We value exclusivity when it comes to our women. We do not want to share our women. We could go around and we could fuck 8,000 chicks. But if you got a chick and you grow any type of attached to her, you do not want her fucking multiple people. These types of chicks scream uncuffable, right? So that is where the line is drawn, even though a lot of men operate through horniness. But when it comes to having sex and recognizing these chicks as sexy, like everything else goes out the window. Fuck the kids. Fuck the job, fuck the kids. Fuck holding women to any standard. Shake that ass, bitch. Put that ass on me. That's where dudes' heads be at. And being that a lot of dudes operate from a place of motherfucking horniness, they don't care so much about what's appropriate. They don't care so much about what's appropriate. They care about what's sexy. They care about what turns them on. That's it. That's all they care about. But I'm going to tell you how I personally look at this. So the first section of this, I said, we have a, what is problem, not a how I feel problem. This is how I feel right here. Most of the chicks that I posted in this video are sexy. Most of the chicks in this video, I would smash. Not one of these chicks in the video would I cuff. As far as the sexy teachers, I would not cuff any of them. I would not even give them a chance to think that we could have a relationship. But even that is super hypothetical because these are just women on a screen. So it's cool to look at them. It's cool to admire their bodies and all of that type of stuff. But I see a bigger issue and a bigger problem. I'm not going to lie to you, and I don't care how this shit sound. I am fatigued when it comes to seeing hoes on the internet. I'm fatigued. Like, if it's not time to watch porn, if it's not time to get a nut off, I don't want to see a bunch of butt on my fucking screen. The internet is social media is so saturated with ass and titties and sex to where when you're not looking for it, it still finds you. Because, again, the algorithms. It just is what it is. And this shit extends past booty models. Every one of you, if you were younger, like anything under 40, even some people over 40, the people in your area that you live in, that you got on your social media, take these types of pictures as far as these women. They do this type of thirst trapping. We're not even going to talk about the Facebook, Threads, Twitter stuff where they typing all this horny shit out. But this is the thing. Even me having that fatigue aside, putting that aside, the thing that I know is, yeah, this shit is cool to look at. But in a work environment, it can be distracting. And let me keep it a G with you. Whether you watch the channel or not, I'm going to be consistent all the way around the board every time you fucking see me. I've told people who listen to my channel that I've had sex with chicks that I've worked with. I've talked about the perils that I've seen other dudes that aren't me experience from having sex with the wrong women or too many women at work. I've even said this is something that other creators are not going to say. Depending on what type of job you work, if it's not a career job, if your livelihood will be straight, if you lose a job, and if it has a high turnover rate, you could consider smashing chicks at your job. I've said that. I would still say that. That's just keeping it 1,000. What you don't see out of 500 plus videos on the channel, what you don't see and what you're not going to see is these women fucking up the work environment with how they dress video. That's something I could do. But let's be honest, like, if you're a guy that's fucking suggesting that guys fuck people at shitty jobs, if you work at Boost Mobile and you're fucking 22, this is not a career. Like, imagine a guy that recommended that dedicating a whole video to women being disruptive at the workplace with how they dress. It's not something I have a tremendous problem with, even though I've mentioned it in the video. There are reasons, as far as the context, why I mentioned it in this video. But where the problem mainly lies, for me, is two places. Number one, the kids. This is not a profession where, okay, it's nothing but adults. This is not a white collar job like you're working at Xerox or some shit in corporate. I don't give a fuck what goes on in the Xerox office at corporate. I don't give a fuck what goes on in the, what do you call it, the light bill office, the electric office. I don't give a fuck what goes on there. But one thing that's consistent since the first video that I ever did on this channel, we talking about the nuclear family and all of that shit, all the way to this video right here that you're watching, the thing that's consistent is that I give a fuck about the kids. I care about the kids. Stop doing this weird shit in front of kids. Don't, because all this does is not just, distract and attract the children and stuff like that to some degree. But this also influences younger girls. It conditions them to think that this is okay. It conditions them to think this is okay. Well, miss, whoever dresses like that, why can't I dress like her? Especially if the kids, which they do quite a bit, find the teacher's TikTok. So when we talk about the kids and this being a learning environment, not only is this problematic for the reasons that I've mentioned, But we have a lot of issues when it comes to school in general. We have a lot of issues when it comes to school in general. And what this signals to me is that I just don't think that they really take this shit that serious. If they trying to take butt selfies in between class and they worried about how they getting dressed for class and they really just trying to show off that ass when they get to school. It's just like if you become a nurse or a medical professional, I really don't like the fact that there are a lot of medical professionals who don't really give a fuck about people. You have to give a fuck about people if you become that. That's my opinion. The actual truth is you don't have to care about people. It shows in a lot of their work. You know, I'm sitting here doing this video now and I'm like, ain't no fucking way this video this long. Yo, this shit is crazy, dog. How the fuck do I be doing this shit, dog? I'm not gonna lie. Let me begin to wrap this up. Listen. So the first main issue I have is the impact on the children. The second main issue that I have is a bigger one, and I'm not even gonna drag this. When you see this type of conditioning and you see the things that I said in this last portion of the video, this signals that there are far less wives. There's far less women who are wifey material. The culture is fucking them up. It is screwing their brains all the way up. It is frying them. I cannot believe, and I gotta be tripping. I had to do something wrong because I'm gonna go back and check. I can't believe this video is a fucking hour and 27 minutes. But listen, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Let me know your thoughts on Go. Yeah, I'm not re-editing that, but my program was tripping. That's how come it said such a long time. I'm like, damn, I talked about this shit for an hour. That's crazy. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Go.